Hi, this is Dr. Tom Rogers coming to you with a weekly podcast of the Common Sense MD from Performance Medicine. Today I want to talk about a superfood, a true superfood that a lot of people have asked me questions about recently, beef liver. I've gotten a lot of questions about this, especially since I've recommended to certain patients either a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet. Not everybody, but for certain people, certain variations of those diets have been very helpful for a lot of reasons. So let's talk about beef liver, because really when you look at it, there's really no more dense nutrient on planet Earth than beef liver. Now we could talk about a lot of different types of liver, whether it be pork or lamb or chicken or even fish. Think cod liver oil that was so healthy and still is for people. But let's focus on beef liver, because really to me that's the most nutritious type of liver food out there. So like I say, I have recommended that to a lot of people. It's kind of a good complement to especially a carnivore diet, which helped me out a lot back when I had some gut problems post-COVID. It's so rich in nutrients. There's just nothing that compares to it as far as nutrient density. I mean, there's no way that fruits or vegetables can even compete with it. The only thing about liver, it doesn't have a lot of fiber in it. Of course, you can get your fiber from other sources, but it's so densely packed with nutrition, it's just unbelievable. And you don't have to eat that much of it either. So think about fiber. Remember, liver has plenty of protein, iron, which may be good for some people, may not be so good for some people, but good for most. Some people have hemochromatosis, and maybe it's not so good for them. But you got to remember the source of your liver, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Because too much iron is not a good thing for a lot of people, but I don't think you're going to have to worry about that when you eat beef liver in itself, not a synthetic form of iron. Liver is a great source of vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, phosphorus, copper, very important, all your B vitamins, especially B12, zinc, selenium, choline. Really when I talk about beef liver, it's definitely the number one food nutrient. Number two would probably be oysters, believe it or not. But anyway, it's very nutrient dense, and it's low in calories as well. So if you're trying to lose weight, liver is going to be a really good supplement for you. People used to eat liver all the time. It kind of fell out of favor because some people don't like the taste. And most people favor muscle meats just for the taste, but for nutrition, nothing beats it. Some people say, well, liver's high in cholesterol. But really, you got to remember, cholesterol in food does not cause heart disease. When you lower your cholesterol in your food, your liver just cranks out more cholesterol. So remember, food sources of cholesterol do not cause heart disease. Some people are concerned because the liver is a detoxifying organ, so they think there's toxins in it. That's not true. The liver's job is to process toxins, but it does not store toxins. What it stores is nutrients and minerals, so you don't need to worry about the liver being toxic. So it's very safe to consume. A lot of people think too, well, and if you read about it, you're gonna get scared because you think if you eat too much of it, you're gonna get toxic on vitamin A or copper. Really, eating liver even daily will not cause, it's never been shown to cause a vitamin A or copper toxicity when you eat liver. When you consume it, the synthetic forms of them, that's when you could get hypervitaminosis A or possibly too much copper. But it's never been shown, it's never been seen to cause that when you eat actual liver. And they used to say, well, you only need, 100 grams of it, don't go over 100 grams of it. You only need it once or twice a week. Actually, you could consume it daily. And you don't need that much of it really to be nutritious as well. It's an acquired taste. There's no doubt about that. Some people don't like the taste of it. I think beef is the best nutrient-wise of all livers. Some people say lamb livers may be more tender, etc., but and chicken livers may taste a little better. But really, I'm focusing on beef liver because it has more nutrients than any of the others, whether it be pork, chicken, goose, fish, lamb, sheep, turkey, deer. The only bad liver is really from walruses and seals, polar bears, and puffer fish. The best, of course, if you eat liver is going to be grass-fed organic beef liver. Raw is probably best, but a lot of people worry about poisoning from food poisoning, and certainly with any kind of raw food, you could run that risk. So you need to know your source that you're getting it from. Any kind of raw food, you could run that risk. Most people will cook it, at least sear it. That's probably the best way to do, because if the contaminants are going to be on there, they're going to be on the outside of the food, no matter what it is. So a lot of people just sear it, but you can eat it raw if you know the source of it. It needs to be grass-fed and it needs to be organic. People that don't like the taste of it, they can get desiccated capsules of it. That's actually what I do most of the time. Or if you do cook it or eat it raw, preferably cook it or sear it, you can soak it in milk about half hour to hour before you sear it, and it makes it taste a lot better. So a lot of people will do that. And when you really don't cook too many of the nutrients out when you sear something. You may sacrifice a little bit. Actually, you probably get more availability of the protein when you do sear it. So you're really not going to cook a lot of the nutrients out of it if you do that. Another reason that liver is so good for you that you may not hear about is because of the cytochrome P450 system. Those are enzymes in the liver that support hormone production, detoxification, and the health of your own liver. Also, liver supports methylation, and most of us have somewhat of a mutation. It's really the most common genetic mutation there is, called the MTHFR methylation. I have both copies of the bad one. Go to Robin Riddle's Outside the Box episode on the MTHFR gene if you want a really good explanation of it. Really good. I recommend you do that. So you need to look at that. But really, eating liver supports the methylation process. So it's very important. And what methylation does is it adds a methyl group to these enzymes to detoxify, like heavy metals, and to support your neurotransmitters. It has a lot to do with anxiety and depression. These neurotransmitters caused by a methylation defect because of that genetic mutation that over half of us have. So look into that. I check almost everybody's MTHFR gene when they come in to get a Cleveland. Very important in looking at that homocysteine level. So liver is really good for that as well. It's good for energy production. This pathway, the MTHFR thing, is so fascinating because, it depends mainly on two vitamins, folate and B12. You have to get the right forms of these, and the right forms are in beef liver. And they have mega amounts of this, as well as all the other B vitamins and methionine. It's so important. So I really do think that beef liver is a superfood. It's kind of like nature's multivitamin. You need to learn to like it. You don't have to eat that much of it. A half ounce to an ounce. You can eat it 5 days a week. That's probably plenty. At least a couple days a week, you probably ought to get some beef liver as a nutrient. Now, I still take all my vitamins, of course, but I have added beef liver to my regimen, and I know it helps me. You're not going to get sick on it. It's more of an acquired taste. And like I say, if you don't like to cook it or eat it raw, then you can just take the desiccated liver capsules. Very safe. So think about nature's super nutrient, beef liver. I'll see you next week.